Okay, so this is my reaction video for Touch of Evil by Orson Welles. Um, I think the first thing I want to talk about in this video is the cinematography throughout, and I was reading a little bit about it because I was just curious as to like uh, who like was the cinematographer. And it said that it was Russell Meddy, I think that's how you pronounce it. I don't know if that's right, but because I think that was like the first thing I noticed right away is the cinematography was beautiful. There was definitely chiaroscuro lighting. I'm sorry. Um, and there was just a lot of like I feel like there were a lot of crisp shots that had really like aesthetically pleasing landscapes or like portraits of the town. Um, like even before they go to like as they're it's like in the introductory scenes when they're walking towards the car, there's just all the lights are really pretty, the way it's all framed up. It's very like it's very symmetrical, if that makes sense. Like I feel like all the lights were really aligned well and it was just very aesthetically pleasing. um Also, I was reading about the costuming for Orson Welles because he had, and this had just been mentioned in class yesterday, about how Orson Welles was wearing like facial prosthetics in this movie. Um, because at first it's almost as if he's like slightly unrecognizable, but I feel like once you hear him talk, it's like you know it's Orson Welles. Um, but I thought that costuming was really interesting to add that I feel like it definitely made his character more intimidating. And I felt like I was like I just like there's something up with this guy. I don't know. Like this entire I think like it sounds weird to say, but I feel like when people put on characters or actors prosthetics and stuff to make them look different than they usually do, it's disorientating for sure. And I think that adds to the character in a sense because you know, he's kind of like this crooked cop and such, and like he's a very mysterious character who doesn't really open up about his feelings or anything. There's one scene where he's drinking the whiskey, and he said something like, "Oh, I don't talk about my wife unless I'm drunk" or something, and I was like, "Oh, it's really telling of your character." Um, I mean, yes, his wife died, but still, it seems a little weird that you don't want to. It seems like there's some kind of blockage in his character. His guard is always up for one reason or another. And finally, I wanted to talk about a specific scene where Susan is being, um, she's being like drugged up slash like assaulted by this gang, and it's like such an uncomfortable scene to watch. First, the diegetic sound stops so abruptly that it's like it cuts off and it's like shocking, and all the characters notice it, and it's very abrupt, and it's like it feels like um off balance. And we see these really uncomfortably close shots, and yeah, it's a really uncomfortable scene, and I think that's the point. The point is to make it uncomfortable. Obviously it's an assault, or like they're drugging her, so it's not supposed to be pleasant. But I think the way they portrayed it is really interesting, and it's really compelling because it kind of evokes the same emotions that one would feel in that situation. Not exactly the same, of course, but it can kind of allow us to sympathize or empathize more. So I'm going to include that clip right here. And then, yeah,